Hello everybody, Tracy Brown here, your somatic nutrition dietitian at Attuned Eating and Body Image Specialist. And it's Friday, so I take questions, and we have, I don't know, about 15 minutes or so to do this video, take questions. And if you have no questions, no problem. I just hope you sit back and enjoy this, take some notes, and whatever you need. So you might be able to tell that I'm a little excited because I was reflecting back on this week a little bit, and just also had a reader check in around how she's discovering her power. So I want to talk about that today. And if you have other questions, interject them at any point and I will get to them. So I want to remind you all, and I hope this video encourages you, because hearing about other people's successes encourages me so much. And it may not be exactly about what I'm maybe working through in my own life, because I've kind of done the food and body thing, but when it comes to like health, aging, work stuff, life stuff, whatever, we all have room to grow. So when I hear your stories of like successes, and big and little successes, whatever, I am super pumped. So I want you to think about that. So first, before I jump into the content, I want you all to take a moment and reflect on your week and what has gone really right. It can be something really small, like it's the first time. It's not actually really small. I apologize for saying that. It's not really small at all. It's a big deal. But sometimes, we're looking for like really big things. And when I say successes, it all counts. So maybe this is the first time you ever caught yourself in I feel fat, and you decoded that into what's uncomfortable and what's underneath that. Or maybe you were able to like stay tuned in a meal versus checking out, which is kind of what the content of this video is going to be about. Or maybe, I don't know what my right arm gets tired. Anyway, maybe it's 5 out of 7 days you were able to come to dinner and make a meal that you liked. Simple, extravagant, whatever. Maybe you kept food in your house this week. Maybe you caught yourself in shooting yourself and you're like, nope, no moss, not doing that here today. Anything counts and it all matters. So I want to share a few success stories this week. And something that really fires me up is when people are like, oh, I'm really starting to notice that I have power and that I have choice. So when I feel fat, or I feel kind of uncomfortable in my body and heavy or icky or whatever, I'm not just taking that at face value and blaming my body. I'm instead looking deeper into the bigger picture of my life and decoding that out. I want to celebrate that with whoever is watching and listening today. Of course, I'm making all this all anonymous, but I also want to celebrate some people I know who took some of their first food risks this week without compensating. I'm celebrating you today. I'm celebrating all of you all who are more willing to feed yourself more regularly and to maybe make a variety of meals. I'm celebrating you today. I am celebrating those of you who are eating more supportively this week, and meaning like really checking into what you need and making that available. Good morning, Helen. Good morning. I'm celebrating you today. I am celebrating those of you who are really struggling, but you're reaching out for support anyway. Celebrating that. So anyway, if you have something you want to celebrate, put it in the comments below, and we are going to love up on you and let you know how we see you. All right, so getting back to some of the content here of this video is that I want you all to know how much power you have. I know if you've got histories of feeling like you don't have power, you don't have say, I want you to remember that all of us are not born to be under, I know we all have authority. We all have authority that's like kind of over us, whether it's maybe our parents, our teachers, our bosses, whatever. But there's a way in which that nobody can have authority over us, and it's our food. Nobody gets to say how much you need. Nobody gets to say when you should eat it. I mean, again, I know when you're children, our parents do like kind of provide the meals and the snacks and when they're going to happen, but you're still, as a child, you have the authority to feel into those signals of like how much you'll eat of that or whether you'll eat that. So we all have some. So once you remember that as an adult, it's like there is nobody out there, including Dr. Google, including your favorite guru around health or whatever, that knows how much you need. And in fact, if you're shooting yourself and trying to make your body fit into your mental limits about how much you think you deserve or your need, you're going to suffer. So I want you to think about today, like, what if the ultimate authority of your food needs is your body? I've done lots of videos, and I had a blog post about that this week. But what if you were to put the power in this relationship between you being connected with your body, and that be where your power comes from in terms of food and health and movement and needs, and not in some kind of other protective strategy of like, if I just eat less, I can be smaller, I can be less, I can feel less. Having that dynamic with your body is where your suffering is going to come from. And we have the power to say, you know, maybe I can do something different with that. Maybe I can learn. Maybe I'm willing to learn to have a different relationship, you know, with my body and with that. So the title of this video was, you have the power to check in and not check out. And so what that looks like, I want to give you an example of what that looks like. It would be coming to your meals, really checking in with like, how am I doing? What do I have an appetite for, if anything? And how willing am I to stay present to this versus all the mental chatter of like how I should or shouldn't eat, what's good or bad. You know, even trying to get it wrong. Like, I've been through some health challenges knowing that there's some foods that are more supportive than others at certain times. Sorry guys, I'm getting a little frog in my throat. That are more supportive, but I might still choose to check in and say, you know, I know that eating XYZ is probably going to maybe cause some GI distress, but I really want XYZ food, and it's been a while, and I feel like if I don't eat it, I'm going to feel a lot deprived at this moment. Now, that doesn't mean sometimes I might want that food, like, you know, I kind of want it, but I'd also be happy with something else, so I'll probably make the something else choice. And there's power in that, because it's not just based on mental stuff. It's really based on, in the circumstance I'm in, you know, the pro of not eating is outweighing the other. But in sometimes the circumstances, I'm really checked in, and I'm not going to check out from the fact that, like, I'm really going to feel deprived. I'm going to go ahead and eat this knowing there may be some side effects, or I might be surprised that there's not as many as I think, and I'm going to be okay. So that's an example. Or it could be a little bit more like, you know, I'm really kind of struggling. I know I've got a lot of stuff going on at work, and I could feel myself. I feel that pull to want to check out in my meal and kind of overeat just for the entertainment of it or the pleasure of it or whatever. And you can do that, but stay checked in while you do it, because that's where you continue that looping of like, I'm spinning my head, because it's like we kind of know what we're doing, and but that old neural pathway is still strong of like, oh, this is my old way of coping with the pain that I'm experiencing, whether small pain, little pain, is that I want to check out. I'm encouraging to take your power back from that, like, I can stay checked in even if I'm emotionally eating, and I don't have to check out because it's bad. It's not bad. Now, that doesn't mean that you want to do that all the time. So I'll give another example. Like, let's say you had a really hard day at work, in a string of many, maybe years of hard days at work, and you're not quite at that decision point of doing something about it. I get it. And you could feel yourself like, yeah, I've been doing this for 2 days in a row, kind of going home, dinner, checking out, getting to like a 9, doesn't feel great, gives me heartburn, I know I'm doing it, but I'm not really doing anything about it. Your next step might be, you know what, I know I'm going to do this, can I stay tuned into it? And what might happen is that you feel your anger come up about like, I don't want to not be numb right now. I want the numbness. Okay. Do you want to do that with food though? And I want you to like know the power of being able to say like, I'm going to choose that numbness versus, you know, I kind of want to be numb, but I also don't want the 9. I don't want the heartburn. And so what can I give myself that lets me have less tension or stress? And that's where your self-care list comes in handy. That's where, you know, working with a somatic practitioner might help you be able to uncouple that and have other grounding and orienting strategies to, you know, work with that anger and that rage you're having about that situation. Because you might find that like the situation you're in is a lot more tolerable when you have more capacity for the stress. So there's a lot of things at play here, but the first step you want to get to is like, can I choose how I'm going to get numb or how I'm going to deal with this anger? And it can be with food. So that's why I want you all to get to the place where you have power about. So I hope this video was helpful. I'm going to answer this question I've got here, this comment that I would love to before we all check out here. I'm going to read this. So this person was doing some yard work. They felt kind of sick. They hydrated first. They looked in the fridge to see what they could, fuel themselves from all the energy used, and decided that they found something they would fit, not what the eating source suggested or didn't want them to have. And they had something they really wanted, which is a graham cracker and Nutella, and you put like high fives up in the air. And yes, high fives up in the air too. That's so awesome. So happy for you. And that's what I mean, the power, to be able to like take a second, really slow things down, check in. And sometimes we're going to make a decision that's not like the 100% most optimal, because it's not always for maybe your physiology, body-wise, but it's optimal for your like mental health, which is, I'll give you an example. When I was really struggling with some GI stuff, honestly, cheese was not optimal for my body at that point, just because of all the stress in my nervous system. Now that I've got some more regulation, cheese is not an issue, but at that time it was. But sometimes it was just mentally and emotionally healthier for me to have the flippin' cheese and just do it, knowing that like, yeah, I might have some side effects, I might not, but this is what I needed to do. And you continue to work on what's underlying causing the GI symptoms, which is causing the distress with the cheese. So you're getting at the root cause of it. And that's what this video is really about at the end of the day. Alrighty folks, thank you all so much. If you have something you want to celebrate, put it in the comments below. We are gonna hoorah with you all the rest of the day. So keep your comments, your suggestions for these videos coming. I really appreciate it. It helps me help you, and it helps, the ripple effect goes out. So thank you all so much for joining. If you have friends that would enjoy this and need to have some encouragement, let them know as well. Thank you all so much, and take care. Bye.